Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. If you're watching the replay, I'm sorry you didn't get the notification. I don't know what's up with the notification system. It's really bizarre. But yeah, I just thought I would jump on here. It's my birthday, and I thought we would just hang out. I've got some presents, which happen to be of the music persuasion, so I thought it would be fun to share them with you. Also, to let you know I'm fighting a bit of a bug, simple cold. So I will be sniffling. I have tissues, so you'll have to deal with me wiping my nose. I have Gatorade. I just took another round of medicine. It's okay. I am blessed and thankful and grateful for everything. And you, I'm grateful for you too. Thank you for making time to be there on your weekend as you're doing all of the things. I always appreciate that. So as folks come into the live, let me tell people on the replay that I know some people feel really bad they missed the live notifications. It's not just you. YouTube's ability to serve out notifications is glitchy. And even for people that have the bell notification and all that stuff, they're doing all of what they're supposed to do to make it happen. It still seems to be sporadic. So it is not your fault. Also, I guess we can do some updates in the meantime, channel updates. So I have a mountain of product that needs donating. So as we go into the Christmas season here, be on the lookout for possibly some giveaways. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do it, what the holiday format is going to be like this year. If you are interested in the couples vlog style stuff, definitely check out my wife's channel, Rain's Place, at RAINSPLACE, and she will be doing all of the cute couples things over there, as well as her normal adventure stuff, animals, events, traveling, and all the cool stuff she comes up with. Aaron, welcome in. I am your biggest fan. Oh, you're awesome. I don't have fans, just friends. And I'm grateful that you're there. Knef Saber, welcome in, Saber. And thank you. Yeah, today is the birthday. Ralph, you had a birthday recently, too. That is awesome. Happy birthday to everybody celebrating. Another year older, but I'm very grateful because it has been a challenging year from a health perspective. I had multiple surgeries, treatments, and I haven't made a big deal about it here. I have wanted to always have Record-ology be kind of a place that's free from politics, free from medical stuff, free from any negativity and stress. I want this to just be a happy place, an escape from reality, because that's how it was when I started. Thank you for all the birthday greetings, everybody. Eric, Keith, Aaron, Deb, Chris, thank you so much. Aaron, everybody is so nice, so kind. I'm thankful to be able to celebrate with you, my friends, here on my birthday. So it's fun. This is really cool. It was serious what I went through this year. It was serious. It was more serious than I let on. I did a couple of update videos that I deleted because I really didn't want there to be medical stuff lingering. But about a year ago, I was hit with some pretty hard news. Took several surgeries, treatments, therapies, and not quite out of the woods yet. I mean, I have a clean bill of health. I'm healthy. Everything is actually looking really good by the grace of God. But I have to do one more procedural thing, but no big deal. But yeah, I mean, I'm so great. So I've learned a lot, and I feel like I've never been totally materialistic to the point where I didn't realize that all this doesn't really matter. But it definitely has further focused my appreciation of what does matter, which is people. That's it. You guys, my family, my friends, my coworkers. I'm blessed to have my parents. Everybody says they have the most supporting wife, but my wife is next level. She's a bedrock, and couldn't have done it without her. But yeah, I didn't really want to, make the channel about that because I wanted it to continue to be kind of a happy space. But another reason I'm bringing it up now is just like it's a point of reflection because having gone through this year. There's been some wonderful ups, and there's been some challenging moments as well. And the things that I've learned, if I could pass them on to you, I know you didn't tune into this to get a life lesson, so we're gonna get onto the records here in a minute. But I want to impart to everybody I have the opportunity of talking to that how to say, well, gratitude is the most important thing. And until you understand what I'm saying in the and not even necessarily the context, but the power of it, it's just going to sound like, yeah, be nice, be happy, be thankful. But there is an incredible truth to turning around anxiety, fear, negative emotions, negative mental stuff through refocusing your mind and your train of thought towards gratitude. And specifically, one truth that hit me very, very hard through all this was that your mind is on autopilot, continuously trying to validate your belief system. That may sound like nonsense or just like, what? But what I mean by that is you have a set of values and you have control into the value system. You could say, I believe that, things are going to be good today. I believe things are going to be bad today. I believe X, Y, and Z. And your mind will be on autopilot, attempting and succeeding in validating those thought processes. So what I mean by that is, if you say things are bad, things are terrible, things are horrible, things are not going to end well, your mind is going to look for all the reasons why that's true. And just like that, when you wake up and say, I'm thankful for this person, I'm going to have a great day, I'm so blessed because of this, I'm grateful to God for my health, your mind is going to be looking for ways to validate that. And many people have heard the thing of, we don't control what happens to us, we only control how we react to that. I would take it a step further and say you have input into how your day is going to go. It doesn't all just happen to you. Things happen, things will occur, and you need to be reactive, but you can be proactive. And the best way to do that is through gratitude and saying, this is the path I'm on today. I am going to have a great day because of X, Y, and Z. And I'll bet you anything that it will turn out that way. Not that you can avoid hardships, not that, you know what I'm saying. Your mind is going to validate your belief system. That's enough of that. I'm thankful you guys are here. We've got some records to look at. I'm going to check out these comments here. If you hear weird squeaking noises in the background, the bird, literally we've had Yoshi for like 15 years. Yoshi, the boy bird, laid an egg a couple of weeks ago. No joke. Sorry, guys. I got a cold. Fighting that. It's my birthday present. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. So anyway, he's audible today. He's making a lot of noise. So we were gone for a while, and I think that they, them, glad that we're back. So the bird may be cheeping in the background. All right. So folks got some new records. Led Zeppelin. Man, Black Dog. That's a classic song. That is a classic song. Love it. I remember when I was a kid, my music that I was allowed to listen to when I was a young kid was very strictly monitored. And my dad brought home from work a Led Zeppelin dub tape that he had. And I played it like, I was like, this is great. I remember just loving it. And that was something that they allowed me to have for a while. And then they're like, you know what, maybe you're playing that a lot. Maybe there's other music too. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but get some variety. So I was able to listen to some other types of music. But I latched on to certain artists early. Michael Jackson. What was the Pump Up the Jam? Those were some of my first tapes. That was the era when I was getting my first music. Oh, Aaron, congratulations on the channel. That's awesome. Act 8113. I think you missed the last live. I'm glad you're on. I was saying earlier, I don't know what it is with YouTube and their algorithm. It just seems to be kind of spotty. Oh, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. That's a wonderful gift. Sorry for the cold, guys. I'm sniffling and wiping my nose and things. I'm really trying not to be acting too sick. I did take some medicine, so hopefully it'll kick in. Try to keep the fluids going. If I miss any comments, I apologize. Picked up some very interesting things lately, some gifts. I can't wait to share them with you. Yeah, don't worry about the tracking number. No worries. It'll get there. Got a Frank Sinatra demo. That's cool, Chris. Thoughts on Fex, Subways of Your Mind? I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Old Blue Eyes, can't go wrong. Larry, thanks for jumping in. Thank you for moderating. 8-track of Led Zeppelin, Dave. That's cool. All right. So I continue down my, and I love doing this kind of stuff. I love it when I get a wild hair, get interested in certain artists, musical type, genre, whatever the case may be. And then that leads me to somebody else and something else. So as you guys know, I've been on this Bing. In fact, I should show these records too. I did make a short with these records, but I need to show them. They need to have their own record. So their own, bit, especially since we're doing some haul stuff here today. These were sent by a friend, like incredible, kind person. I am so grateful for everybody that spends the time to even hang out with us. But the people that above and beyond also send things. Incredible. This isn't even a viewer, just a friend, somebody that found out I liked records and now is liquidating a collection of a collector, and I've been getting first dibs on whatever artist I'm interested in. So it started back with the Patsy Cline stuff. That's how I was able to round out that collection. Continued on with Peggy Lee, and I now have a sizable Peggy Lee collection. And when she heard that I was collecting Bing Crosby, she's like, "Hey, I've got a lot of Bing Crosby and some Loretta Lynn," because I went kind of down this side route. I'm not going to fully do the Loretta Lynn stuff, but I do like listening to her music. I picked up, this is one of the ones she gave me. All of these that I'm going to show next are the ones she gave me. This is like mid 70s, and the record it's good music. It's very 70s country. What's weird about this particular disc, and these have all gone through the ionic, what is it, the ultrasonic cleaner, which I'm going to do a video about this, but I'm starting to feel like maybe I don't like the ultrasonic process as much. Like I feel like it does not clean as good as just a spin clean, like scrubbing the record back and forth. Definitely that takes more elbow work, but I feel like the result is better. Those records just seem way cleaner. I don't, something about the wiping and drying process afterwards. These seem to kind of retain some residue and things. The water is absolutely disgusting that's left behind. It's cleaning a lot, but there's a nominal difference. So this is not something that would have come off in the spin clean because I manually tried to scrub it off too. But look at this. There's two little white flecks, and they're physically there. Well, yeah, you can feel a little bump. And I've done the cleaning process, spray cleaners, cloths. I'm sitting there with my fingernail gently but yet firmly trying to scrape that off. Cannot. And it's physical. It's not just a stain. I've seen paper fuse on like that before, like if it was like water damage. That being said, it's a cool record. Also on the back of her records at the bottom, is it the bottom? No, right above the picture, it says how to sign up for the Loretta Lynn fan club and be on the lookout for her new biography coming out in 1976, I believe. So this is a fun one. This isn't a compilation. It's just sort of an album, but it's got some good stuff. Okay, where am I going to put these? I've got quite a bit to go through. Happy problem, right? Oh my goodness, the nose, dude. My nose has been running for 2 days solid. I was sick when I did the show about the last one I just posted. And I was looking back at it. My wife and I were at dinner. And I was like, you can't even tell I'm sick in this. I'm really good at hiding it. She's a master of like, she can be dying from something and just be perfect. And I'm like, you always hear about man flu. Oh, I'm moaning, whimpering. And she's like, okay, we're at the dinner table. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, probably making this face. She's like, what's wrong? I'm so miserable. And she's like, do that on your live. I'm like, on my live, people aren't going to want to watch this. And she's like, well, I don't want to, you know. I think you should, if that's how you feel, you should communicate that with it either, And I'm like, well, I have to be, I have to, be on or whatever. So she's like, well, can you do it now too? So I tried. I could do it. I was like, hey, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling wonderful. Hey, everything's great. But inside, I'm like, It was kind of funny. We were teasing about that. Anyway, let's see. I want to get caught up on comments here. I apologize when I miss them because I will. Somebody has some red 45 adapters on eBay. That's a great point you bring up, my friend. The cranberry sauce 45 adapter exclusive color. I was thinking it'd be cool to design it look like the edge of the can of cranberries. Some people serve it with like they just turn the can upside down. It's got the ridges. But this is the cranberry sauce exclusive November color. This is style 2. This is the newer style 45 adapter. It's also available in the style 1 adapter with the R in it. There's a link in the description all over the place. Feel free to order yours today. Thank you for the plug. Appreciate it. Eric says, I have 3 original Record-ology to have white or awesome. That'd be cool. Chris has also been on a Bing Crosby binge. Oh, dude, if you're on a Bing Crosby binge, stay tuned. You'll like this. Iambic pentameter cleaning. Isn't that where you like rhyme? Remember there was like a social media post where this guy was drunk walking down the street and he was like talking in iambic pentameter and he was like, I have a lot to say on this wonderful day about the way you say some way he was talking. And he was just drunk, but he was talking in perfect iambic pentameter. It was really funny. I see Patsy Cline behind you, the picture. Let me turn over Patsy Cline's first album over there, the rare variant. That was a Grail record, so I framed it. There's a whole story behind that. William, happy birthday, day after. Are you going to do a video on the Chesterfield broadcast, Glenn Miller CD? Do I have it in here? I might have it in the other room. The new one, the Glenn Miller Birthplace. I've been, I would like to do more about that. They are understandably not wanting people to give away too much of that content because the money that when you buy it, it supports the museum. I did put a little sneak peek video short up yesterday, but yeah, and I'll do more. I talked about. I'm talking about one I did not too long ago where I talked about it. No, I'm talking about the other live. I talked about it. Definitely. But it is cool. Marcus Music Mayhem. Oh, that was the one I just read. Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate it. Thank you, Frower. I appreciate it. Chris, thank you so much. Rain is a great singer. She's great at many, many things, not just singing. Aaron's got a 1950 RCA Victor 45 player. Awesome. I have an idea for December month adapters. If you I think it'd be cool if you did a cookie adapter. That would be cool. That is a cool idea. We do have one plan though. You're a good egg Record-ology. Thank you so much. All right. Next. This is cool. So she also gave me this Bing Crosby story. It's a 2 record gatefold with a bunch of his very early stuff. We're talking like late 20s. Now, one of the things that made Bing Crosby, I love the label on some of these too. This one, oh, this is just kind of a generic label. One of the things that made Bing Crosby a success is he was the first singer, the original crooner. So people are like, what does that mean? What are you talking about? It happened to coincide with the development of the carbon microphone. Carbon microphone, introduced in the 20s, allowed much higher fidelity recordings. So singers didn't have to just kind of theater project all the time. They were able to be more subtle and nuanced in their sound. They could be more breathy. They could sing quieter and still be heard. And he really took advantage of that. Look at that. That's an early picture of old Der Bingelheimer-Schmidt there. But this is some really early stuff. Very well restored. I put this on. I was like, is this going to be so early it's unlistenable? But it really wasn't. It really sounds good. Okay. BP Alpha says, considering the MP110 or Ortophon. So I had an RT85N, which is the new Nagaoka MP110 version. That cartridge sounds exactly like a baseline Audio-Technica 3600 to me. It did not sound anything special. It wasn't bad, because the 3600 is a good cartridge, and I like it. I use it a lot. But it wasn't like on the same level as the Ortophone. So I would say 100% go Ortophone. Ortophones do have a crisper, cooler sound to them. The Nagaoka is a bit warmer, a bit more lush, but it's not as detailed. So I would definitely, I haven't had the blue, I've had the red, but from what I've heard, and even the red, which is the same cartridge as the 2M blue, just with a different stylus. It's got the bonded instead of the nude. So I would go for the blue if you can afford it. Jack, thank you very much. Thank you so much, Craig. I appreciate it, Craig. We got, if you like cassette players, we got another, what should be maybe a third player in the new good Walkman category. So we've got We Are Rewind, the FIO CP13, which are both awesome. And there's a third player coming in with what seems to be high quality. I really hope it is. So stay tuned for that. He really was. He was a huge celebrity. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. Yep. Denise Crosby was Tasha Yar. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. RT81, awesome. My RT81 Plus, I just love it. Absolutely love it. If you want to see it and the matching bass, which is actually, this is the Fluence IB40. Somebody's making a joke, IB59. IB40 is the model number of this platform bass, Fluence platform bass. It actually doesn't fit on the table I've got holding up my RT81 Plus. So I've got it back here with my Technics changer. This thing is very lightweight. So I thought that this would help with it because this is extremely lightweight. So I thought that might be a good idea. Is there a cheap head shell you have? You know, I haven't really sought out head shells. I just sort of accumulate them. But I mean, a standard issue head shell, as long as it's metal with the slots that allow you to, do what you need to, it's good. Also consider the quality of the wiring. This is a pretty cheapo, not cheapo, basic. There are some that have higher quality wiring. Anyway, something to think about. Piano black, nice. Yeah, I've got the mahogany. I think it's mahogany. Whatever happened to the review on a record player? I think it was when you sneak peeked all. Oh, Al, very observant. Yes, I did a members only video sneak peek of a turntable that did not get posted yet. We got halfway through production, had to travel, it got shelved, and I need to finish it. So it's just a scheduling issue. Love the Rewind portable cassette player. My 18-year-old daughter is discovering tape for the first time. That's cool. Hey, Dad, this is so cool how it takes forever to rewind your song. I love the grainy detail in the music and the hiss. I'm just joking because the things that I used to just drive me crazy about tape. When I got the first CD player, I'm like, goodbye tape, I'll never see you again. But there is this charm in it. There really, really is. Well, the whole physical media thing, all the vinyl physical attributes of, you got to find a copy. Which version do you have? Analog, the tactile interactive, all that applies to tape as well. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it. No worries. Larry, I'm blessed. I'm a little cold. Ain't going to slow me down. Nice, Craig. That's good to hear. Thank you. Yeah, the FIO is super cool. Thank you, Luis. Thank you so much. So I've been on the channel for a while, but what got you into Patsy Cline? That's a great question, Chris. So if you go back about 2 years, I was doing too much Patsy Cline stuff to the point where people were like, slow it down a bit, because I get hyper obsessed. So I did a lot of Patsy Cline content. So go check that out. What got me into Patsy Cline, it actually started with Glenn Miller. I've been a Glenn Miller fan for years. And I came across a couple of Glenn Miller studio recordings done in 1939. And unlike most of the recordings from that era, they did not feature Glenn's typical vocal singer, female vocal singer, Marion Hutton. They featured a different singer for 2 songs, Baby Me and Love with a Capital U. Great songs. They were sung by a different voice. I really liked her voice. So I looked her up, and it was somebody by the name of Kay Starr. And Kay Starr had her own career. She went on. She was only like 16 when she recorded those songs, but she went on to her own career in jazz vocal music. So I started collecting some of her music. Again, going back to that one thing leads to another kind of a thing. And when I was researching Kay Starr, I learned that she was highly influenced and a fan of Patsy Cline. And I had known of Patsy Cline. I know the name, just like there's certain artists that I've never really deep dived into yet. And so I know the name, but I couldn't tell you much about them. And that was the case for Patsy Cline. And I just happened to have picked up a Patsy Cline record in a free bin or someplace and just shelved it, knowing that this is significant. And, I'm not into this music right now, but it was significant. So I wanted to have a copy. I'm like, well, I got a copy. Let me give a listen to it. And I put it on. I was like, holy cow, this vocal is incredible. This is better than, at the time I was thinking, this is better than Kay Starr's even. And so I kind of jumped ship, as it were, to Patsy Cline music. And then that started the whole thing. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. Do you remember the FM stereo headphones that you put on the Arrow? Yeah. I remember that. My dad used to have some of this, right? When they were trying to make them like slimline, like the Casio ones, headphones with the little antenna. Okay, next record in that collection, Rosemary Clooney sings Country Hits from the Heart. So I love Rosemary Clooney music, and this is a cool one. Very fun listen to that this week. Sorry for the coughs, you guys. All right, Bing Crosby stuff. The Radio Years Volume 1. I love whenever I can get my hands on radio broadcasts versus studio recordings. It's so cool because I love the banter. I love the advertisements. Most of the time, the recordings are just as good as studio recordings, but this is a good set. I think I got both volumes of this. Classic album cover. I love this. Easy to remember. Decca. Look at that. Beautiful artwork. This is really, really cool. Decca, Bing is a Decca artist for most of his early career, just like Patsy Cline was. This is a cool one. This is, if you kind of go down the Bing Crosby route, this is one of the ones you'll start seeing a lot of different places. Now, after, I think it was I want to say like somewhere between 55, 57-ish, Bing Crosby parted ways with Decca and did what a lot of artists at the time were doing and took his career independent. So he, kind of like Sinatra did with Reprise Records, he kind of started his own thing rather than just being dedicated to one label only. And in his case, he licensed his music out to different records, labels. So you'll see him on RCA after that. You'll see him on different things. This is a Springboard Records. But Hey Jude, Hey Bing, he does Hey Jude. I think that's the only Beatles song on here, I think. At first I was like, oh, this would be cool. A whole album full of, Beatles covers by Bing Crosby. Here's a fairly obscure one. Bing Crosby, Just for Fun, on Broadway Records. Broadway Intermission Records. Super cool stuff. He was so prolific. He recorded something like 2,500 songs. You'll never get it all. You know what I mean? You'll never get it all. This is another one that you will always see when you start looking up Bing Crosby records. Bing Crosby's Greatest Hits. The cover was used on 2 different albums. I think this is the more popular variant. This is also a punch-out, as you can see up there. So this is reported as unsold. Although, in this case, also says sample copy back here. In this case, I don't think this was an unsold. I think this is a promo. And because these were mostly belong to the private collection of a radio DJ. And so a lot of these are radio station exclusives. Another Loretta Lynn featuring The Pill. This is prime 70s country again. Yeah. They kind of have a similar look. This is all MCA. So yeah, this was MCA Decca as well. Another artist. I have a lot of MCA Decca stuff. Now this record is interesting. Wait, no, that's a different one I was thinking of. God Bless America again. Another Loretta Lynn. I haven't listened to this one either. But this is super fun to find. What label is Rosemary Clooney on? I think that was MC. Oh, that was Victor. Yeah, that was Victor. I think somebody said that. Eric says, love Glenn Miller, was stoked when I snagged the 345 RPM book set. Were you the one that gave me those? Somebody gave me 3 padded book sets of those. Incredible gift. For me, tapes are just aren't nostalgic. I still have over 200 of them. Wait, no. William says, for me, tapes aren't just nostalgic. I have over 200 of them since teenage years, and I still need something. We're split it on. Thank you for recommending We Are Rewind. Yeah, We Are Rewind. FIO, CP13. Yep, and that was on RCA. Oh, which variation? Let's see here. Let us find out. Let's find out. This is standard silver and black Victor, looks like. Living stereo. Good stuff. That's a premium RCA Victor pressing right there. And this particular one is about 140 grams, solid. Those are some of the best sounding records. Can't wait for the Alka-Seltzer cold and sinus to kick in. Oh, sorry, your computer crashed. Thank you so much for joining. Heard he recorded White Christmas many, many times, many variants on 78 RPM records. It's close. So what happened is he recorded White Christmas in 1942. And it was so popular, like on a level that music had never been popular before. They sold out and they couldn't press enough copies of it. To the point where they wore out the stampers, they wore out the master materials. And then there was some kind of fire, I believe, that caused damage. Anyway, the demand kept growing and they couldn't make any more copies of what they had. I'm surprised they didn't just make a dub. But they instead decided to go back and re-record the song. So they brought in all of and this is 48, I think they redid it. They brought in, or was it 48? I want to say 48. Yeah. They brought in all of the same musicians, same orchestra, same arrangements, and basically tried to recreate it. Now, you can find on YouTube the 1942 version of White Christmas. It's not impossible to find. But the version that most of us know and love is the 48 re-recording. So yeah, that's interesting. I've done an entire show on all the copies of White Christmas I have. I've got multiple 78s, 10-inch, 12-inch, 7-inch, 8-track CDs, tapes. I'm trying to collect every format. I've got almost all of them. But yeah, if you look at my video on that particular song, it's fun. Okay. First time you recorded. Oh yeah, 41. There was that. That's true. That was the radio recording. Was the first version. Yeah. Yeah, Shaded Dogs are great too. Yeah, the re-record. That's the re-recorded version on Merry Christmas. That's cool. It's fun to collect, like hone in on something and try to get every version of it. All right, we got a lot more records to look at. This is a cool one. So I didn't know this existed. One of you guys sent me a tape of this, and I now have the vinyl record to go with it. Bob Scobie may not be a household name to some, but in the jazz community, very well respected. So this is some good jazzy music. Another Victor release. No, yeah, RCA Victor release, as you can see up there. So this is Bing doing it because he loves it, not because he has to, like by a long shot at this point. So it's happy, easy breezy, uplifting, good stuff. I wonder what label this is on. This is an LPM, so it's mono. You'll notice at the bottom there, instead of saying living stereo, it says long play 33. So that designates that it's a mono. Plus the fact it says LPM up here in the catalog number. LPM, LP mono. I think the stereo ones were, or the living stereo was LST. There's a record that you can still buy new, and it's got the same cover. This is a best of Bing Crosby. You can see the radio station right there that I was talking about. Decca Records, 2-record set. You can still buy this. The gatefold. Let's do a live gatefold opening. Whoom. There you go. Cool stuff. This actually, oops. I got the camera set up on mirror image mode, so sometimes it's a hard time to know which way it's going. It's got a couple pages. I don't know if there should be more to this or not, but yeah, it's got a lot of his greatest hits stuff. So that's a good one to get. Somebody, I don't know who it was. Was it Channel 33 was talking recently about how so many new records being released, and we'll look at some new records here in a minute, are double record sets. And it's because the CDs hold, more music than a single record can hold. So now they're programming new releases to have more music than they used to. Okay, so here's volume 2. Joe Bing Crosby was quite bald. Almost every image of him that you'd see, even by World War II, he was pretty much bald. Most of the, also a Punch Out. This probably has somewhere on it. It's a special copy. Hairpiece, but it's amazing how they made it look real. Okay, hold on a second. Is it this one? One of these I have is a radio station issue. I think it might be this double record set. Yeah, this is cool. So this Bing Crosby set I showed you, this is a radio station promo copy. So it's got the Decca label, and I've seen a lot of Decca promo stuff. Usually Decca goes pink on their demo and promo copies. This is a white label promotional copy, as you can see there. Promotional copy, not for sale. That's coming. The middle bar is coming across kind of greenish in the middle there, but it's actually kind of gray. Actually, it is gray, not kind of. Yeah, these are mono radio station issue. Pretty common for a lot of the early radio broadcasts to be mono. And for collectors that are completists, we talked about this with the Patsy Cline stuff before. Oftentimes the mono mixes are completely different than the stereo mixes. In the early days, because the purpose of a radio station record was to sell commercial pressings to people, right? So they would make mono pressing specifically for broadcast, even of stereo records, knowing that most people in the early 60s or by the early 60s are still listening in mono. And they would assign those mixes to the best engineers. Their best engineers would mix those mono pressings, and their lesser engineers would do the stereo mixes for commercial resale. Kind of interesting. Here's a Rosemary Clooney record. Sings the lyrics of Ira Gershwin. It's interesting. It's got a letter on the back to Rosie from Ira Gershwin. This is 1980. Concord Jazz. Got a few more to get through on this part, and then we'll go to... This is an interesting one. So this is a spoken word story record, 2 stories, Man Without a Country and What So Proudly We Hail. And somebody, when I did the short about this, was like, that's so rare. That's incredible that you have that. It's such a rare record. It's a typical Decca mono pressing, which I was excited about. Not that I was like wanting necessarily to have something that was monetarily valuable. I'm more interested in the history of it and the content. But I looked it up, and it's all over the place for like $10, $12. So he's like, it's not even on Discogs. I was able to find it, though. Another Loretta Lynn, another one's on the way. I love the super 70s harvest gold coloration up there. This is a MCA release also. I think she might have been MCA Decca her whole career. Another one, I had more Loretta Lynn in here than I remember. It's Somebody Somewhere. This is 76. Yeah, MCA. 2 more here. Greatest Hits compilation, Bing Crosby, 20 Golden Greats. There have been a few different collections of Bing Crosby that are inclusive of his gold records. I think he only had like 20, 25, maybe 28 gold records in his career out of his thousands of recordings. And then finally, check this out. This is cool. Sunbeam Records, Dinah Shore and Bing Crosby. These are 2 radio shows from his Kraft Music Hall broadcasts. No, wait, I take that back. One is Kraft Music. Wait, is this Kraft? Those are the Bing Crosby shows. This would have been after Kraft Music Hall. This was 1952. And then the other side is actually the Dinah Shore show from 1947. So this is really cool. The cover is super cool, too. I love that sort of cartoony font. Some big names on there. Peggy Lee, Nat King Cole, Joe Venuti. So those were all the gift from my friend in Colorado. Incredibly kind. And then I want to show you my haul for my birthday. And that is over to my right. I have the Holiday Inn album, which holds 78 version. Oh, does it? I want to get that new CD that came out with a couple of years ago, White Christmas, that also has Holiday Inn and some radio stuff. I think it might as well. Just a thought, says Al. Al, I might have missed the thought. If I didn't respond to it, put it in there. Steve, thank you so much. Leon, thank you so much. It was in 1930, basically over. Yeah. Yeah, I saw a picture. I think it was he was recording with Glenn Miller. He actually stopped by when Glenn was overseas in 1944 and spent a week or so and actually made a show. There's a very, very poor quality copy of recording that he did with Glenn. Ink spots are my current favorite all over Fallout video games. I need to check out the Fallout stuff because I keep seeing stuff that's related to it, like retro stuff that's like about Fallout, and I don't know about Fallout. I saw that, Larry. She was on there. I love when she's like, yeah, so and so, my grandmother in country music, and what's his name is like, your grandmother's in country music. Who is she? She's like, oh, Loretta Lynn. That was funny. Hey, Scott, my friend. Scott, you tuned in at the right time. I was about to go through the gifts that you just sent over. William says, oh, just have some hot soup and go to bed. My wife, the nurse, takes medicine too. Nice. Sometimes it's the best thing you can do. You would love Fallout games if you like some older music. That's cool. I got to check it out. Hey, Toronto John. Thank you for modding. It's very poppin'. Wish you may. Hey, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it, John. All right. You guys are awesome. So here are some records that great friend of the channel, Scott, just sent me. And he sends so much stuff. He just got done sending all those CDs, that whole collection we looked at. I've been going through them. They're still over here, and I've been listening to other ones over there. I'm pointing as though you can see where I'm looking. This is so cool. I was listening to this on Friday. It's really good when you're doing billing, because at work I have to do some billing work. And if you're living in spreadsheets, some just like command records with some instrumental stuff is great. Check this out. Command records is premium. This is audiophile stuff. I love records that instead of it being about the artist, it's about the type of music it is. You know what I mean? Like, they're not selling it based on the artist. They're selling it based on the type of music. Check that out. These are great, thick records, quality pressings. Thank you for including the nice inner sleeve, dude. This is so cool. I'm so grateful. You're such a. And by the way, I'm glad you're on here because Scott, I was wanting you to send me an email, Record-ology1938@gmail.com, because I wanted to thank you offline as well. So that was cool. And being a fellow Glenn Miller fan, he shares generously his Glenn Miller collection. And if these are your duplicates, the quality of these are amazing. So it's Glenn Miller on the Air, volumes 1, 2, and 3. I still have the note in here. Thank you for that. And they're pristine. They look brand new. 1963. Okay, there's a little discoloration there, but look at the edges. The edges are they're intact. Most of the paper, it's a tip-on sleeve. Most of the paper is, still white. Like, these are in fantastic condition. And these are the LPM mono pressings to go with the stereo ones you also sent me. And I was super excited because this is a set that I had heard so much about. And I was like, man, I really would love to get that. I would love to get that because, like I was saying a few minutes ago, the live stuff is best. Absolutely the best. Oh, Al, that's a good idea. Have Mrs. Record-ology take over for a while and do some reviews. I like that idea. That's super fun. I love having her come on and do stuff. And she loves it when you guys encourage her and enjoy her work on here. Thank you for the suggestion. I'll let her know for sure. The graphics are cool, Toronto. They really are. Yeah, the stereo ones are cool. I've done shows on fake stereo. I don't mind it. I don't dislike it. I'll listen to them fine. I'm not like, I won't listen unless it's mono. So here's volumes 2 and 3. And they're great. If you love, this is Chesterfield stuff. And it's for this would be good for the newbie to Glenn Miller because it's the most exciting kind of Glenn Miller music, the live broadcast. When you get into the world of Glenn Miller, you will find that the fans that have been into it for a while prefer the live stuff. And if you get the new Glenn Miller limited edition CD with all the exclusive stuff that we haven't heard before, highly recommended, by the way, Check out the Glenn Miller Birthplace Society for details. It's kind of pricey. It's like $30 for a 2-disc set, but I guarantee you it'll blow your mind. The sound quality, it's unlike anything you've ever heard before. But any of this live stuff is great. I love these so much. So thank you, my friend. I'm glad you jumped on here. This is perfect. This is perfect. Did Mrs. Record-ology ever? Yeah, she comes on from time to time, Chris. We've done Vlogmas on here in the past. Some of those are still available, I believe. She's hosted shows here and there. Okay, we are going to look at 3 brand new records that I acquired this morning, my birthday presents. 3 records, all of them double sets, and a CD. That's right, John. I'm not sure if, how, when we're going to do that. We're still trying to formulate it. But I'm glad to hear there's an appetite for that content. Picked up volume 2 of the Chesterfield broadcast LP from the 60s. Yeah, I think I've got it. Is it this one by any chance? Another favorite. I need to do an update of my Glenn Miller records. I've got like a crate and a third of Glenn Miller stuff. It's not that. There is it. Come on. Now I won't be able to find it. Yeah, no, that's not it. I need to do another. Oh, I love this cover. One of my favorite covers. This isn't it, but I love the cover with the different colored circles on there. Oh man. Yeah, of course it's not going to be handy. That figures. Come on. I can't find it. Come on. Yeah, I need to do I can't find it. I need to do an update video on the Glenn Miller collection. Thanks to you guys, it's growing rapidly. That's so cool, Marcus. That's a great deal. Thank you, Vinyl Rage. Appreciate it. Yes, Command does have Enoch Light. That's true. Do you collect any Sinatra albums? I do. I love Frank Sinatra. I'm a huge Sinatra fan. I've got Sinatra 78s, quite a few CDs, and some vinyl. I need to get more, but yeah, absolutely. I've got some cool ones. We actually got to partner with Universal Music Enterprises, UME, which is the label that a lot of this stuff is under now, and present 2 Frank Sinatra album releases in the last few years. Unfortunately, their media contact moved on, and the new one doesn't want to do that anymore, which is a bummer. But yeah, absolutely. Scott, I would love for you to tell me some of your rarest Glenn Miller stuff. I don't know if Scott, have you ever seen my Glenn Miller bootleg 78 on the Biltmore label? I've got a Glenn Miller V-disc and a custom-made Glenn Miller 3-inch record. Do I have that handy? No, I think that's over there. All right. New records I got today. Dun, da, da. These are great too because they're matte finish, so they're non-reflective and they photograph really well. So I had never seen this movie until this past Halloween, and I'm like, I want to see this. Ever feel like something's popular and you want to know what everybody's talking about? Such is the case with this. I am such a fan of Christmas. And I thought that I don't like the idea of them making Christmas evil. That's kind of what I had in my mind. Sneezing. Excuse me. So when I saw this movie originally, when I knew about this movie, I was like, yeah, it's probably not for me. But I hear more and more about it. I see clips about it, et cetera, et cetera. And I found out that it was really good music, and I liked the audio. And the movie looked cool. So finally, this Halloween, I sat down and I watched the movie, and I loved it. It was fun, but still, I prefer the music even more than the movie. And so my wife got me the next 3 records we're going to look at here for Christmas or for my birthday. And so yeah, Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas, and the album has an introduction. You'll see side A, overture, and then opening. The opening is done by Sir Patrick Stewart, and I had to do a double take when I heard his voice, or I thought I heard his voice, because his voice does not appear in the movie, but it appears on the soundtrack album. Gatefold. And this is on black vinyl. There's different versions. There's a zoetrope version, colored vinyl version. This is the good audiophile grade, meant for quality listening, 180 gram pressing version. The labels have Jack Skellington's face on there, and just the music is phenomenal, just phenomenal. Danny Elfman's music, Men in Black, Batman. He's done so many scores. Like, his music was the music of my teenage years, because I've listened to film scores since I was a kid. I love film music. And Danny Elfman is one of my absolute favorites. The guy's hilarious. He's so talented. He started off in a rock band and then became a composer. You see my fingerprints showing up on this. I need to put this in a slip jacket. And he still has the hard rock look. He performs in rock bands still. And very talented. He sings on some of this stuff. What's this? There's music everywhere. All this stuff. He sings this. He performs. He produced this film. He didn't direct it, but obviously this is no, he didn't produce it. Tim Burton produced this. Danny Elfman, though, his whole vision of the music was an integral part of it. Anyway, yeah, so that's one that I got. I'm very excited. Interesting. It worked. Oingo Boingo. Yeah, that was his band. It works as a Halloween theme and as a Christmas theme. So I'll be listening to a lot more of that. Now, the next two, these are so cool. D23 convention, if that rings a bell to anybody. So Disney, every couple of years, does a big convention where they announce all new things that they're coming out with. And one of the things that they announced this past D23, and they put it on sale, was a box set of all the Indiana Jones movie soundtracks. And it's like $250. Well, I love Indiana Jones. I love it. On par, if not, dare I say, slightly above even Star Wars? I'd say on par. I'd say it's equal to my passion for Star Wars. But I love Indiana Jones, and particularly 2 movies stand out. So I got Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is a new 2024 pressing, Disney and Lucasfilm. I love this scene. My dad and I used to watch this when I was a kid, and he used to do this thing with his beard, like, just like Indiana Jones does when he's contemplating this, this kind of funny way to stroke his beard or his face while he's looking at the golden idol. And gatefold, beautiful artwork. Look at that. I could just hear that scene, sort of that hazy lighting. Each record features a picture jacket. So if you are an Indiana Jones fan and a Star Wars fan, there's an amazing amount of crossover stuff, little Indiana Jones Easter eggs in the Star Wars movie and vice versa. And these are, again, black vinyl pressings. Very thick pressings. Cool picture labels as well. John Williams music, another composer for my generation. I mean, just so much music. I can't stand E.T. Traumatized me as a kid. But the music to that, to Superman, to Jurassic Park, Star Wars, to Indiana Jones, to so many other things, it's incredible to me. Check this out. My favorite Indiana Jones film of all time, and the best score, in my opinion, as well. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Junior, that's for blasphemy. Yeah, that's the scene, too. We're going home, Dad. No, we're going to Berlin. Sound like Jimmy Stewart. Oh, Jimmy Stewart. Wrong guy. Well, that's Sean Connery. Anyway, I love this movie so much. So another double album set. This belongs in a museum. The house that he runs to at the beginning of the movie, where his dad makes him count in Latin, that's actually in Pueblo, Colorado. I love this movie so much. Trivia time. Time for a trivia question. Put it in the comment, and I need to go back and catch up on comments. So, but aside from looking at this stuff, I wanted to ask you guys a trivia question, and it does relate to this movie. What do you call an item in a movie that is a key part of the plot, a physical plot device? What's another word for a physical plot device? And I happen to have whatever that is for that movie over here, and I'll show you in a minute. All right, let's get caught up on comments in the meantime. Interesting, Scott. That's cool. About the orange label and stuff. Yeah, when RCA went to the 70s labels, I was like, the Dynaflex discs and stuff, not my favorite era. I love the 60s Victor pressings. Thank you, Wyatt. I appreciate it. Oh, Scott, I showed you that. Yeah, I've had it on a couple of times. Oh yeah, Enoch Light started Command Record. Interesting. Keith is a Dean Martin fan. I love Dean Martin too. When somebody loves somebody sometimes. That's the end of the Gatorade, guys. I don't know how much more I can talk with that. Just kidding. I'll be fine. But I have this great record. I picked it up in Vegas. It's how I learned you can carry a record on an airplane. Doesn't count as your carry-on or your, overhead bag. If you've got a window seat, you can slide it right down between your seat, and it fits perfectly. I was at the airport, and I impulse bought a Rat Pack double disc set, and it's got some great stuff from the Sands, and it's the three of them. It's so good. It's so good. And when I think of Dean Martin, I just think of him up there, and totally irreverent, halfway in the gutter, which is all an act. Not all an act, but it's heightened for the effect of the act. Love that stuff. Yeah, Dean Martin is another favorite of mine. Edward Scissorhands is another one. Yes. Oh, interesting. Wow, Scott, you're really educated. So many of you guys are so educated on this stuff. John Williams, a national treasure. So many iconic. I know. That mind has created. What a gifted person, so much. Sure. Toronto John comes in with the correct answer. A MacGuffin. That's what a physical plot device is called. Something that is used continuously through a film. Exactly. And it's the Holy Grail. Absolutely. And I love this stuff. And I did a show about this. Nobody watched it. Nobody cared. But I cared. A few of you cared. But I got one of these knockoff Holy Grails, and it comes without all this stuff in it. It's printed separately. So I aged it, and I scrunched it. Every time I get it, I kind of give it the treatment, make it look a little more ragged and tattered. And I love this. It's a little leather book, and it's got all this stuff from the movies. The pages that were written, the little knickknacks, memorabilia. And as a kid, I remember when they would show this on camera, I was like, oh, could you imagine? Can you imagine if you could look through this? How cool that would be. So when I saw these, somebody was making these. There's a few different people that do it. It was like $25 on Amazon. I think somebody on eBay sells them too. The way they did it, there was something, they released scans of, I think 40 pages of the actual art department's writing. And, some people took those images and they offered these printed versions and put it into a book to kind of recreate it. And it's not the best resolution. If you look up close, it's actually kind of pixelated, but it's readable. It's fun. And for, the price, can't beat it. And all these little pages, it's silliness, but it's fun, and I love this stuff. It's really, really fun. I mean, there's all kinds of drawings, and I look. The stuff from the movie is in here. The pages that they turn on the movie are in here. The rubbings of the stuff, the Knights Templar, and all this stuff, and it's got other stuff that wasn't in the movie but could have been, and whatnot. But yeah, this is the MacGuffin from that movie, and there you go. There you go. I love it. I'd recommend, if you're a fan, I would recommend buying this. You'll get the book. This one come with a book, and it was like a third of this width, and all of the insets were separate in a little envelope, and they were in pristine condition. Same thing with this, and they weren't all put together. It did come with a little elastic strap though, and but you can weather it yourself. You can kind of, you know, it just gives it that weathered appearance. Love it. I'm so happy to have that. Exactly. The singing and chanting as they're digging in there. I remember that too. Chris has a question. I have a question. I know it's bad to touch the grooves, but do you think it was bad for a record store owner to yell at a kid because they were rubbing the record grooves? Well, first of all, no, you shouldn't. There's no. This is all okay. So this is a hobby. We're just playing with our toys. You know what I mean? There's nothing serious going on here, and I don't think nobody should be made to feel bad for doing anything. Uh, that being said, if somebody was, handling the records in such a way that would decrease the value, I could see the store owner getting upset. Yelling, probably not the best approach. Probably a nice, please don't do that kind of thing, unless it was repeatedly done. Touching the grooves, I think that it's over. I think if negative effects of it are overemphasized. It's not the greatest thing to do. The idea is your oils can leave fingerprints. The idea of it, dissolving away your records, it's not going to, come on. You know what I mean? I just don't buy it. I've heard reports that fingerprints left uncleaned can permanently imprint the record. A great example would be this Patsy Cline, which we've had on the show many times, has what appears to be fingerprints that are permanent that even the ultrasonic couldn't get out. Somebody told me they think it's probably not that. It's probably some TPU, plastic materials, leached off of it or something. But anyway, so I wouldn't want fingerprints to linger, but I mean, sometimes I'll end up touching. If your hands are dry and clean, might not even make a fingerprint. I wouldn't make a habit of it. It's not really good for it per se, but it's not like it's not like some emergency thing. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, it's been touched by human hands, it's ruined. It's PVC plastic. It's the same kind of plastic that, PVC pipes are made out of. Nobody's like, oh, don't touch the pipes. Don't touch the pipes. They'll never hold water again. It just doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. People take this way too seriously, and they think this stuff is way more delicate than it really is. That's just my opinion. Like everything, there's an opinion on all of this stuff. I've carried full moving boxes of records on plane. I haven't done that yet. By the way, my method for moving records next time we move is going to be different. Last time was the first time I never moved across country in my life, before we moved out here from Colorado. My method was to get boxes that could accommodate the size. And so I ended up with these letter length boxes, maybe 2.5 feet long, 12 inches by 12 inches, sturdy corrugated cardboard. But I didn't take into consideration how freaking that would be. And so those boxes, you couldn't lift them up. You had to carry them with the hand truck or something. So they were too heavy. And I was able to fit. I did a video on moving, and I filmed me packing the boxes, unpacking them, showed you how things arrived, Nothing got damaged. Actually, I would highly recommend the moving company. We used the, it was expensive. It was actually the cheapest way to move cross country. It was cheaper than, only thing that had been cheaper is if we did it ourselves with U-Haul. But if you're looking at moving services or pack and ship places, the one that we use, what is it called? Oh, it's the thing. It's not U-Box. U-Box is part of U-Haul. What is that called? International boxes. Anyway, they drop off a container. You load it. They pick it up. They take it to the other end, and they did a great job. We put an Apple tag in there so we could track its location, and it was really interesting to watch that kind of beep 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 make its way along. But yeah, and so the boxes came here and everything was fine. Equipment was all fine. Nothing got damaged. But I will say those boxes were too big. So somebody told me they make just regular 12-inch by 12-inch boxes, 12 inches wide, tall, long, and it's perfect for putting, this many records in. So you need a lot more of them, but they would be easier to handle and easier to pick up because they'd be lighter. I can't, after my surgery, I can't really carry super heavy things anymore. So it would be a better fit for me. I would do that next time. But no, I've never carried that many records on a plane before. Interesting. Maltese Falcon is another one. You're right. Only thing that Dean drank was wine. Yeah, I think so too, Chris. It was like part of the shtick, right? I think Sinatra was definitely drinking, like, what was his drink of choice? Jack Daniels, I think. When I worked at Nelvana Limited on salmon wax animated experience. Oh, the Great MacGuffin. That's so cool. Toronto John, you worked on an animated TV series. What is your background in? Hitchcock coined the term? I didn't know that. That's so cool. Yeah, just clean off the print. No big deal. Losing signal. Maybe the internet's getting busy. I'm sorry, you guys. We're going to wrap it up here in a minute. Interesting. Hey, Fisher Hines, welcome in, and thank you for the birthday wishes. You have to watch the replay. This is a fun one. We talked about a lot of cool stuff, showed a lot of records. So if you want to see a few record hall stuff, I've got one more thing to show you. Oh, that's really interesting, guys. I didn't know about the whole. They taught me a lot. Jack Daniels, that's what I thought. All right. The last piece of music that I received for a birthday present, and this goes back to what I started off the show talking about, was the Rabbit Trail of Bing Crosby. So I started off Bing Crosby, which led me to Bob Hope. I've been reading Bob Hope's book, the book about him, about a 10-year-old book. Some people said it was great. Picked it up, used in Denver for like $6. I'm working through that. The road movies. I keep mentioning this. I'm not going to go on it again, but I love these. And because of the road movies, it led me to Dorothy Lamour. So I've been collecting some Dorothy Lamour music, and I just picked this one up. This is a very interesting set because it contains stuff you can't get anywhere else. This focuses on her Paramount career. She was with Paramount for about 10 years, like 36 to 47, I want to say. So a lot of material here. It's a 2-disc set, Sepia Records. This is an Austrian release. And if you look at all the listings online of this CD, you will see the front cover only, but nothing of the back cover. So I heard it was great. People said the sound quality was incredible. In fact, there's some cool record labels on the inside here. People say the sound quality is just incredible, including some stuff from her personal collection, some transcriptions and things. So I'm excited to hear it. Here's one of the record labels. Really cool liner notes. This is, streaming music. You never was able to replace liner notes. Look at that. Pictures, anecdotes, details. Look at that. Pictures of these record labels. So I'm excited to dig into that. So those were some of the things I got for my birthday. And I'm just grateful for being here. And the stuff is just an added bonus. So thank you for letting me hang out with you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Mattercon. Appreciate it. Bing, welcome in. I love it. Appreciate it. Dorothy had a Hawaiian album she released. Yeah, I've got that one on order actually. I'm still waiting for that to arrive. I've got it. The other one of hers I got was this. I think I showed this on the show already. It's a 2-disc set as well. It's got a lot of those Hawaiian songs, but also some of the movie stuff. My favorite are the songs that she did from the movie itself. The movies, I should say. My favorites are the stuff she did with the Bing Crosby and Bob Hope movies, especially the road movies. I used to work in the animation industry as a cell painter. What? That is so cool. Assistant animator, prop designer, scene planner. Wow, that's so cool, John. I had no idea. That is so cool. Have you ever tested the Walk Odor? Weird name, but it's a lot of weird record player companies out there these days. Record player. I found it on Amazon. I don't know if we might have tested one of theirs. I'm not 100% sure. Or a variant under a different name. It's possible. I think Sepia Records has a CD of Dorothy Lamour also. That's cool. Thank you, Super Dogs. Appreciate it. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. Going my way. Classic. My friends, thank you for the birthday greetings, for hanging out with me on my birthday. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Have a blessed week. Wonderful day. We'll talk to you guys soon. Happy record hunting. We'll see you next time.